Hey guys, Carlos Cortez here. I hope you're doing well. I am not in my studio this week as I am in my home in Kissimmee, Florida. Anyways, here we are. I hope you guys are doing okay. Thanks for sticking around. If you haven't had a chance, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel under Scriptures in Wall Street, Rumble, as well as Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We are there now. So, really grateful that we're on multiple platforms here. And moving forward, we will be hopefully not censored there, but if so, you can always go to my Rumble channel and we will always be posting content. So this week, I just simply wanted to just update you on some things and really just a mindset going into 2027 and Q3, Q4 of 2026. There's a lot of things happening right now. We've received calls very similar. It's interesting because when we receive calls, it's always about two things. Like, I'm not confident in my retirement. I'm not confident in what is happening with the government, and I don't know what to do. I understand the banks are not my friend. I understand the banks have basically financially inoculated me into positioning my assets as not even my own. You don't own the money in your bank account, as you guys understand. You don't own a lot of things. And what I wanted to really talk about is, what do you own? You see, we are so caught up in purchasing investments, we're purchasing things. I believe we're buying things we don't even know. So, your 401ks, what are they truly invested in? Your bank account, what are they truly invested? Do you own the silver in your precious metals IRA, whether it's in Delaware and Texas? Do you really own it? More so, the money that you're saving into your brokerage account, where are those funds being invested at? These are some basic questions, because here's a really scary story, is that as we go into closer to 2030 and 2033, when Social Security is supposed to be running out, I possibly think it could run out faster with the exorbitant debt that we have right now. They're going to have to get very creative on how they're going to tax you. Extremely creative. So as we put money in a 401k and the IRA, just know, as you put every single dollar in, you are signing in a partnership agreement with the IRS to dictate how much money you literally own in the future. Now, I don't know about you, but maybe you like Elon Musk. Maybe you understand that it's okay not to save for retirement because you're going to have robots doing your work for you anyway. Maybe you want to believe in that. I don't think our listeners, if you're listening to this, that's not you. You guys are responsible people. You love freedom. You love ownership. You take action. You're proactive. You're biblical. You are 10 toes in the ground and you have a spine. That is not you. And that is not my typical listener. But the bro investors and the main population, or the sheep, I would say, will take the easy way out and stop funding their retirement. We have all-time foreclosures coming back. We have all-time 401k withdrawals. We have a lot of recessionary indicators that are happening right this moment. And this is not a doom and gloom podcast, but I just want to state the facts. The facts of the matter is that BlackRock has completely said it multiple times that they're a big advocate for tokenization, crypto, and more importantly, AI. They're going all in on AI. And what's scary is that BlackRock has such a huge influence on Washington, on Capitol Hill, that they're literally creating these partnerships where 401ks and IRAs and governmental funds like Trump accounts are going to be heavily invested in AI. And they will trick you into saying, hey, we're going to give you $1,000 feeder match. So open up your IRAs for your grandchild. And now you can have, I'm sorry, not IRA, but a Trump account, which is a deferred retirement, so to speak. And at the time of 18 years old, they will own it. But here's the crazy part. If we have millions of kids opening these Trump accounts and getting the $1,000 match, and they're all vested in the same index, do you really think the government's going to prop that index? Wouldn't it be wouldn't it just be like a complete rug pull? If you really wanted to hurt our children and our children's assets, all they have to do is hire the same people that created these accounts to do a rug pull on them, to manipulate the markets, to get them in the government's nipple so they can have milk for the rest of their lives and be dependent on the government. We have to be very studious right now. We have to ask questions. We have to not just blindly trust the government, blindly trust everything that comes out from the media, blindly trust everything. We have to question. We have to question, not because we are in a spirit of rebellion, but we are proactive. Physically, mentally, spiritually, who cares about other people's feelings? You need to put 10 toes in the ground and start questioning where your investments are at. Where's your funding coming from? What are you funding? And if we don't have an answer for that, then don't do it. Don't do it. Simple as that. And more importantly, the more that you save into government written contracts, the more control they have over you. And I can't stress that enough, because Wall Street, just like Big Pharma and every other propaganda sector in this world, they all have their peddlers, they all have their agendas, they all have pretty much everything in line, and it all lines up to one group. Whether it's a Bilderberg group, whether it's the Zionists, whether whatever principality you're talking about, it is biblical. We don't need to solve who is doing it all. We don't need to solve. So what if you figured out it's the Masons, the Mormons, or the Jews, or the Illuminati, whoever it is, it doesn't matter. It's not going to change your life. Who killed Charlie Kirk? It doesn't matter. What does that have to do with you and your household? You are called to be responsible for your own household, for your own happiness, for your own greatness. Guys, we get so caught up in the price of silver and politics and what is happening locally and the track, trace, and control agenda that we forget to even look at our own stuff in the middle of everything. It's great to question, but don't be frozen in this distractionary based society that we're in, where none of it is for your benefit. The only thing we have to worry about is our name written in a book of life. What are we doing today to make an impact on others, and guard our financial household to be a steward, because we will be judged on that. We will be judged on that. And I believe that we've created a platform where we do great stewardship for clients' assets, that we can actually protect your money from the CBDCs. We can protect your money from the ideological propaganda that is funding this Satanist Luciferian agenda, whether it's in the market, whether it's out of the market. And we have a great process. We call it the covenant process. We believe in precious metals, but we don't believe that it's a retirement vehicle. We don't believe that it should be in an IRA. If you lose money in the IRA, you can never write it off, guys. I don't care if it's in Texas or Delaware. And you've seen how manipulated it can be. If you currently have money in the bank, a 401k, or even precious metals in an IRA, you may want to listen up. You're going to want to have a place where you have a guarantee on your funds. As we go into a lower interest rate environment, banks will be stressed out when the commercial real estate crisis happens. Right now, you can get a guarantee, yes, a guarantee on your principal, and get a bonus. If you're younger than 65 years of age, we can utilize an insurance-based contract that has been around for over 100 years. We want to help you find a guarantee on your funds that are actually outside of banking laws, outside of securities laws. And guess what? You get a guarantee on your funds. You get a guarantee on your principal. Go to greenmoneysolutions.com, fill out your information, and let's just see if you qualify. B, how are those apples treating you now? Most of you are very concerned about the cost of silver and IRA because in your IRAs, because you put way too much money in red. For those of you that don't understand, or you're new to the show, red money is going to be an account or asset class that has unlimited losses, unlimited gains. You have no control over the price of it, and you have no idea what the fees are. And if you do, they're still sketchy, or you have no 100, not one um, transparent, confident approach on what you can tell me what the actual operating expenses on your red money is. So red money could be real estate. It's also your stocks, your bonds, it's crypto, it is precious metals. It's pretty much anything that goes up and down in value and you don't have any guarantees on it. The definition of a security is risk of principal. So you're willing to risk your principal. Sure, there's bonds, there's governmental bonds, but even those aren't guaranteed. Your principal is not guaranteed. Maybe that coupon payment from the government's guaranteed, but their guarantee and your guarantee is completely different from what we think a guarantee is. Secondly, bonds aren't protected from rising or lowering interest rate environments. When the interest rates go down, your bond prices go up. When the interest rates go up, your bond prices will go down. So, yes, grandma lost her money in 2022 to 2024. And, when interest rates went up, and obviously they're starting to recoup now with the bond indices tracking, and the 2, 5, and 10 year are being uninverted. They have been uninverted, but they're normalizing. And so if they raise interest rates, look for that with the feds right now, with Kevin Warsh back in. And as I told you, Kevin Warsh is going to talk a different speed, talk a different lingo than Jerome Powell. Jerome Powell is very analytical, A type, just kind of that geeky, straight line guy, didn't like to be pushed over. But at the end of the day, Kevin Warsh will do what Trump has basically called him to do. And he's going to try to come in and lower interest rates. And I think that's what the goal is for them, is to try to lower interest rates to keep consumer goods a little more attractive and affordable. But the problem is that wages aren't keeping up. Real estate prices are, people can't afford homes. People are still trying to afford daily staples like groceries, eggs, bacon, ham, bread, just diapers and formula. They can't even afford that right now because credit card spending is all time high. 401k early penalty withdrawals all time high. Repossessions of cars are back. Now we have private credit that is on the brink of exploding. And if we have a private credit crisis happening, guys, even BlackRock will be exposed, as well as Chase and Bank of America. All the big banks will be exposed. And more importantly, there will be a massive effect on weaker insurance companies that are overexposed. We've never solved commercial real estate crisis. As we know, we have billions and billions of dollars in commercial real estate that is currently defaulted. Just last year alone, we've had loans. We saw companies walk away from skyscrapers the past 2 years, walk away from skyscrapers. We saw AT&T building in Dallas. We saw a $90 million building in St. Louis, Missouri that actually got foreclosed and auctioned for $4 million bucks. And we're talking a skyscraper, guys, because the whole dynamic has shifted. Social Security will eventually run out due to the fact that there's no W-2 workers anymore. Everybody wants to work from home, start their business, be an Uber driver, or whatever it is. The employment landscape is changing. This is one reason why Social Security probably isn't going to be there. I'm 43 years young. I've been doing this for 20 years now. I'm not going to have Social Security. So my approach is doing market-based money, right? Dollar cost averaging in the markets because I trade, but also having a green money account for my retirement so that my wife and kids will have a stable account growth that is not CBDC, that is not tied to the stock market, that completely is principal protected, creditor proof, principal protected proof, and can generate an income while I'm pulling money out 20 years from now. So my clock is 20 years. Like I can work for 20 more years. Hopefully a lot sooner. My plan is to work for 15 more years, 15 or less. And I'm taking all my retirement clients and running the journey with them. So hopefully that's you. The thing is that we got to create an inheritance for our children. We got to be stewards and we have to have plans. That doesn't mean we are fear mongering. Doesn't mean that we are being anti-Semitic doesn't mean that we are being crazy or just unprepared. We are preparing right now because the market can and will go up, and the market will go sideways, and unfortunately, the market will go down. Now, if you're 55 years old and you're banking on your retirement to be there, and you haven't planned for downside rug pull or drawdown, do not be like your parents in 2008 or in 2001. We've learned that lesson several times. Guys, these people literally had to stay in the market in 2001 for 6 years. It took them all the way up to 2007 to recuperate their money, only for them to lose it again in 2008. That's if they never sold. And then from 2008, they simply had to wait another 7 years. So this is considered the lost decade from 1998 to 2008. We do not want to see that happening as the AI boom happens. We are in the AI boom, guys. Like the whole thing what I was getting at is that Larry Fink wants to invest your money, not his money, but your money through governmental partnerships, through Trump IRAs, through 401ks, through custodial agreements, debt, equity, you call it debt and equity. He wants to have complete all in, like Russian roulette, all black, and he wants to put everything in AI. And that coincides with what he's been talking about the past 4 or 5 years. He literally is the Bill Gates of the financial system. And we have to be very, very careful because he is going to lead a lot of people in just financial captivity. Like I just don't trust this. I think you can make a lot of money in AI. I totally believe the technology is there from a performance and growth standpoint. But the other side of that is devastation. The other side of that is an AI boom and bust. We saw it in 2001, very similar when the internet took over everything. In 1993, you couldn't buy anything off the internet pre 1993. I don't know if you remember that. And then we had electronic email early 2000, late 2000s or late 90s or going into early 2000s, and now companies are being ran by email, and so people don't write letters anymore. Now we have Bitcoin that was introduced in late or mid 2000s, and although it's trading right now just at 63, remember I told you guys it'll get to 65, so that's corrected. Um, it went below 65. We have $63,000 a Bitcoin right now as of June 4th of 2026. A digital asset that no one understands what Bitcoin is worth $64,000. Great time to dollar cost average and buy some BTC. I really think BTC will get to $250,000 within 4 or 5 years. Silver should pop up over $200 once this suppression stops, because they're both scarce. And so what I want to just really mention is that scarcity is a really good asset. You see it with Rolex watches, you see it with classic cars, you see it with antiques and art and just things that are just scarce. Like if you love cars like I do, you understand that a older Mustang will always hold its value if you can restore it. I still have my 1999 uh, Cobra Mustang. I'm not getting rid of it. It's a stick shift. It's got 110,000 miles on it, and it's parked. It's parked at my dad's house. I'm I'm not getting rid of it. There was only I think only like 1,500 of that color combination made. It was a red and tan interior, so you don't see them. Um, anyways, anything that's scarce is going to be a good investment. So silver eventually will be a great investment as AI companies want to take off. They have to have that silver. So right now with the dollar pumping up, and I'll share that with you. I just won't say it, but I'll just share it with you. If you currently have money in the bank, a 401k, or even precious metals in an IRA, you may want to listen up. You're going to want to have a place where you have a guarantee on your funds. As we go into a lower interest rate environment, banks will be stressed out when the commercial real estate crisis happens. Right now, you can get a guarantee, yes, a guarantee on your principal, and get a bonus. If you're younger than 65 years of age, we can utilize an insurance-based contract that has been around for over 100 years. We want to help you find a guarantee on your funds that are actually outside of banking laws, outside of securities laws. And guess what? You get a guarantee on your funds. You get a guarantee on your principal. Go to greenmoneysolutions.com, fill out your information, and let's just see if you qualify. Because this is the God's honest truth. Guys, this is the US dollar right now. This is on a daily chart. I'll go to a 4-hour chart. Does this look like a crashing dollar to you? Nope, it doesn't. And so we saw back in March, this thing just go boom. It went bonkers from 97 to about 100.4. So this jump just on a daily chart, and I'll even go to a weekly, and I'll pan out here, shrink it up a little bit. Just on a weekly chart. When that dollar goes down, that's when your silver goes up. But when this dollar pops back up, which it probably could. If you look at this chart just over the past 4 years, anyone can say, here's our support, here's our lower level at 94. It's going to want to try to find its price home in this channel at its last resistance back in 2022 at 114. So if this thing does pop up, let's just say to even at 109 to the closest resistance, what it's going to do to silver, it will bring it back down to 104. I'm sorry, to 2 in the 40s again. This is one way they can steal your silver, is simply you get so frustrated with it. It's called investor fatigue, that if they pump up the dollar and they need your silver, there's no more silver in the Bolivian mountains. They're all gutted out. There's no more silver anywhere. But you have them. You have them. And the way they can take it is they're just going to suppress it till you get tired of it, because you didn't sell it back here. And so you will FOMO out and you'll get frustrated. Let's see here. Let me actually pull up silver. So it does coincide with the US dollar. And as this skyrocketed back in early January, February, we saw it at 122. Currently it's at 73. Let me zoom out of this so you can see it a little better. So we're currently right now in this price home here where it's just consolidating. And that's because the dollar has been pumping up and the sellers are out. So we have short term, midterm, and long term now turning green. So silver is literally on, as of recent, is going down because the dollar is going up. So we get the question, is it a good time to sell? Well, if you bought it way back yonder over here, it might be a good time to sell a portion of it, because right now there is no skyrocket boom in silver right now. It could happen, but I need all these bars to turn green. I need the dollar to go down. And right now the dollar has no indication that it's going down anymore. I'll go back to the dollar. And so what we're doing here is we're quantifying and quantifying it, and getting our emotions out of the way, because the charts don't lie. This is the dollar. Do you see any red marks here? Do you see anything showing red? And this is on a daily, this is on a weekly. This thing, look at this candle on a weekly chart, has full green, all momentum. Even my RSI indicators is showing power, bullish power on the dollar. So, guys, once this is going up, your silver will go down. Maybe from a, a smaller minuscule level, but the overall bias here is very simple. The fact that it's not going down a dollar. And people that buy gold and silver, they bank that the dollar's crashing. Well, let me tell you something. You're smart enough to realize that if the government can pump up the dollar and crash the dollar on purpose, they can pump up the dollar. It's 100% manipulated, in my opinion. Now, you may think otherwise, and that's okay. That's why it's America. You're free to believe whatever you want to believe, say whatever you want to say, but that's the God's honest truth. It's right there. So for those of you that are waiting for a stock market correction, let's talk about the S&P right now. Right now we're seeing bullish power through the roof on the S&P. I don't trust it, but it is all AI driven. I got green bars on a short term, midterm, and long term. I was hoping that this would be a good short here. I loved SPX, S, and SQQQ, but I'm losing money currently because it just blew through resistance. And this is on a weekly, guys. So be very cautious buying the S&P at these levels because this is all propagated. It is all funded through AI. Now, I really believe because Fink's stance on the AI debacle, on the AI propaganda, like he really wants to use your retirement savings, not steal your retirement because he can't do that, but he could use his power to influence 401k custodians like Empower, like Prudential, like Fidelity, like Schwab on the 401k retail side, obviously. He can say, you know what, BlackRock is a great investment for your employees. And here's a partnership contract. And we are Fed now compliant. We are federally regulated. We are federal compliant. Meanwhile, they got some backdoor agreement going on in Washington. Sure, that would never happen, right? I'm pretty sure that would never happen. But the fact of the matter is, it's happening right now because if we simply do a quick search. So here we are. Larry Fink warns Americans' pension savings will fund trillions required for AI data centers. Protect your wealth. The tech giants expected to spend a whopping $7 trillion on AI infrastructure by 2030. That's more than the size of Germany and Spain's GDP combined. If you're wondering where all the money's coming from, the answer might surprise you. It's your savings accounts and pension accounts. That BlackRock CEO, Larry Fink, who made the prediction at the Texas State Technical College in Waco alongside Texas Governor Greg Abbott. Yeah, here's a Snopes article and a plug from X. Check this out.
To think about growing with the United States. If we can get more and more Americans to think about growing with the United States, we will have far than enough money to invest in this infrastructure. But as the governor was talking about, the need for electrons is growing every day. Some of these, if we're going to be the leader in technology, which we are, if we are going to be the leader in AI, which we presently are, it's just going to require trillions of dollars of investments. And if we don't invest in it, China will be the global leader in this. And so to me, it's not whether, this is a must. And if you think about how that translates, it translates into a more dynamic economy. We need the United States economy to grow at over 2%. We need the US economy to grow at 3%, especially with the growing deficits the federal government has. And so much of this money, not just the project, is going to be coming from the private sector, from savings accounts, from pension accounts, from insurance companies, and on and on and on. The whole world is in need of improving the infrastructure.
There you have it, boys and girls. I mean, I don't know how that makes you feel. For me, it's obvious, right? It is obvious. The fact of the matter is that he's going to use pension savings, retirement accounts. Who's to say he can use the Trump accounts to fund the AI agenda? The question is, where in the world do you actually own your money? When are we going to actually own your money? We see it in the bank accounts where you don't own it. We see your 401ks where you don't own it. Pretty soon, you won't even own your brokerage accounts the way things are going. What else are they going to reach their hand in? The answer is not silver. The answer is not an IRA precious metal in Texas or Delaware or Montana. The question is, or the answer is preparation. How do we prepare today for this AI digital takeover that is here? It's happening now. Every time you get in your car and you have a phone on you, it already knows where you're going based on your behavioral habits from last week and the last month. It's been tracking you for the past year or 2 years or 5 years. It knows your daily habits. And we are in a society where the track, trace, control agenda is just everywhere. So we have to play smart. We have strategies here at Cortez Wealth Management that are anti-CBDC, that are pro-America, and that we don't want to fund China. We don't want to fund any other country other than America. Now, I'm not saying all AI is bad. I'm just saying I don't trust the government to have full control of all my assets. And I don't think you should either. And guys, we are setting ourselves up for the slaughterhouse. If not us, then our children. And I need you men, I need you strong men to step up and really guard your finances for your family. I honestly don't believe the big banks, the big brokers, the brokerage firms, they're not even talking like this, because most advisors will say, "Oh yeah, we're going to buy the S&P and the Nasdaq and you'll be fine with your Plantier stock and your Nvidia stock and your Amazon. Just stick to the big AI tech companies and you'll be fine." And we're funding our own demise. We have no control of what's going on. It's red money. It's red money talk. And literally the whole stock market is based off 7 different stocks that are all AI based, the Magnificent Seven. And if you haven't learned anything from 2001 and 2008, this is going to be a massive, massive bomb when it all comes down. I can't tell you when it's going to come down. All I can tell you is that prepare. I can show you charts to oblivion and I can give you a heads up. And I'm pretty good at what I do, but it is completely up to you on how you take this. Everything on this information is meant for education and information purposes only. I'm not giving investment advice. However, if you would like investment advice, give us a call, 813-448-3446. Now, with that being said, I can't stress enough right now that we still can make money with the AI and the NASDAQ. We still can do it. Last year, or 12 months from now, our trailing 12 is over 18% in one of our indices with a green money account. All you got to go is greenmoneysolutions.com. Look at option 3. It's a QQQ based index, a growth index. And we're literally making 100% of that index year by year with no bonus. If you want the bonus approach, you can get a 15% bonus in most states, except for California, and make 70% of that index. And it's a very powerful index. I really feel that big tech is going to lead the next 5 to 6, 7 years. Every recession we've had, it's always been healthcare and big tech that's got us out of a recession and that has grown the market. You heard him say that we need to be at a 3% GDP and not struggling at a 2% because our national deficit is tremendous. It is unbearable. So this tells me that the American system, the American retirement system is failing. Our money is not keeping up with the demand of the cost of living, the cost of inflation, just the cost of everything, just operating as an American. Like, we are not keeping up. So Larry Fink is stepping in and saying, we just got to fund, we got to be the ultimate leader here, and we got to fund it in any way possible. Use all our resources to get into AI, or else China will own that sector. And at this point, I don't even know what to believe, because we have a president that's kissing the wall and that's more focused on fighting Israeli wars and not American wars. That's really focused on, tweeting more than actually establishing policy. Like, what happened to the immigrants? What happened to the wall? What happened to the jobs? What happened to diesel prices? I miss driving my truck. I have an obnoxiously loud truck. It's a show truck, but dang, I don't want to spend $200 filling it up. Thank God I have multiple vehicles, but there are guys that actually use a diesel truck to go to work every day, and they can't even afford to go to work. Like, what happened to the diesel price? What happened to the American trucker? What happened to having a livable wage? Most Americans now have 2 jobs and they can't even make ends meet. You need at least $100,000 just to get a mortgage. Like, homes are basically not even affordable anymore, let alone if you're a single mom, single dad, you can't even get a home. And now what is being promoted is manufactured homes that are literally not even hurricane proof anymore. They have no resale value. And you're seeing these communities pop up everywhere. And it's truly no ownership, because you can't take loans at it. You can't sell them for what you bought them for. You can't build equity in those things. And even if so, you're not going to get all the equity that you put in. So they're entrapping the American consumer, the hardworking American, and not really pushing them ahead. You have to be a business owner. You have to clock dollars. You have to somehow have a side hustle to get ahead. And even then, you get smacked up by taxation because you're parking your money in the wrong parking spot, like a precious metals IRA or a taxable account. And so the taxing planning of the future is going to be vital, guys. If you don't know what you're doing, give us a call. We have strategic partnerships with some of the world best CPA that are America First, that can give you the best tax advice. And it is my prayer that you guys do something and not just listen to podcasts, but actually do something about your retirement. As we see the markets going up, that doesn't mean you can't make money in this market. What I'm saying is you got to have a plan for when it comes down. And many of you are trying to retire. I've spoken to hundreds of people. They're in their 50s and they're now questioning, they have their life savings in their 401k and their job is shaky right now and they don't know what to do with their 401k. If that's you, give us a call. We want to help you. We want to give you straight up a simple process that will protect your retirement, that will be there when you call upon it. That's not reliant on the Nvidias and Amazon, and that's not reliant on the stock market. But we need to have principal protection. We need to have a way to correlate your assets through simplicity and not just the stock market. Because if you invest your whole retirement in the stock market, you are not guaranteed to retire the way you think you are. And I don't know about you, but I don't want my retirement to be a what if. I don't want my retirement to be a place where I think and hope is the financial plan. And I know that's not you. So give us a call. Let's have security. Let's have confidence in retirement. There's no reason why you shouldn't. I just don't believe that the big banks have your best interests at heart, because their mission statements are not in alignment with your values. We all have values here. I want to make sure that my values align with yours and vice versa. And if that's you, if anything I said resonates with you, give us a call, 813-448-3446. Or you can book an appointment online at cortezwm.com. You simply just go over there and type in a few prompts. We don't sell your information, nor do I have time to do that. We keep everything in-house, and you'll hear from my team to book a 15, 20-minute call, a discovery call, to make sure that we're a good fit and to answer any of your questions or concerns. First question I always ask somebody when they call is, what do you like or don't like about your current situation? And I give you the floor, and I'll give you my 2 cents. And if it's a great fit, great. If not, that's okay too, guys. I'll still keep on podcasting. I'll still keep on managing money. I'll still keep on, pursuing the agenda of being a light on Wall Street, fighting the Goliath. I'm still here, guys. I'm still here. I've gotten mud, speared, everything you can possibly think of. But I'm still here fighting, and I want to fight for you. I want to protect you. There's no reason to FUD going into 2027 and finishing up 2026. There's no reason to lose money in the next stock market correction. There's no reason to do any of this stuff or be fearful and uncertain and doubtful with the next media post on X or from Trump or from Elon. Those things should benefit you and not hurt you. And so if you don't have a strategy for the chaos coming in, and silver is not it, by the way, we already seen the stock market go down as well as silver, and I can show you the charts on that too. We've all been fed a bag of goods, and it's time for you to wake up to realize that what you think happened is not currently happening. Your gut feeling is an emotional feeling and not a professional decision. You need a professional to help you. I'm here to help. Anyways, if you like more of this content, then go ahead and find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and Rumble, Scriptures in Wall Street. Thanks again, guys. Carlos Cortez here. And don't forget to get your awesome peptides from GetMeLeanUSA.com. You can purchase on monthly subscription. You get a discount, and you can cancel anytime. These are America First peptides, basically plant-based and animal-based, and you will love the results that you get. So go to GetMeLeanUSA.com. You can support our show by purchasing a few products from there. And I just appreciate all the support and love that you guys have given me over the past few years. God bless you, and we'll talk soon. So how many times have we gotten lost in the minutia of the everyday life? We've gotten fat, we've gotten lazy, we've gotten complacent, not just in our faith, but also our fitness, maybe our finances, maybe our marriage, maybe our family. But we've gotten complacent, and we constantly need to continue to grow. And one of the things I was weak at was in my fitness. As a former athlete, I thought I had it all. My ego got in the way. I'm like, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. Up until now, I have been able to focus on my fitness. For those of you who've been following me for 3 or 4 years, you understand that I've gained a lot of weight. I've used the excuse of having 4 kids, a marriage, a business, helping out at church, all these excuses. And I keep putting myself in the back burner. This is deadly. And what I love about this company, what I love about taking ownership, is that GetMeLeanUSA.com has the ability to introduce natural, groundbreaking peptides. What your body demands, what your body needs to release those fat stored cells, to build muscle, to gain your physical being back to where it's naturally supposed to be. We're not talking about big pharma saying we're going to come out with the weight loss drug. We're not talking about losing muscle. We're talking about gaining muscle, gaining your physique back, controlling your appetite, giving you the edge that you need to help you get your body back in check the way God intended it to be, by using his resources with America First products, with America First company that aligns and believes in what you believe in. Introducing GetMeLeanUSA.com. Get in. This is going to be groundbreaking, huge business opportunity, as well as a huge groundbreaking technology that is going to change the landscape. So I know good things before I see it, and I highly recommend you get in. All you got to do is click the link below and get you some fit, get you some lean, and get fit and get lean. This is not going to do everything. Of course, diet and exercise, you continue your walking, continue your protein intake, but man, does it make it a whole lot easier to get in shape. Look at me, I've lost 60 pounds, but this is actually fundamentally a great recipe to get back in shape. And I can personally attest to the amazing effects of this product. So go to GetMeLeanUSA.com. You won't regret it. You can cancel anytime. They're affordable and yet they're effective. And you are supporting our show. You're supporting yourself. You're supporting a mission. There is an affiliate program attached to it if you would want to share it with your friends and family. There's a whole nother opportunity there. But more importantly, let's get your fitness back in check. God bless you. Carlos Cortez here, signing out.